Hi folks, welcome to the GM's Alcove, my painting update, my forge and brush update, what I've been working on, what I'm getting done, and what's coming up soon. Lots of 15s, as you can see here. We got a whole slew of Essex 15mm feudals, and I got some Napoleonics, some Old Glory 15s. So I've been working on these since about last week, actually, and this is my second week working on them. So let's zoom in and take a look at some of these little guys. First up, you can see some archers here. Again, these are Essex. Didn't have to do much on these. There was only 4 bases I had to finish off, and it was basically their basing. I had to flock them, put some... the spackle was already on there, actually. What else did I do? I guess it was just the flock and the static grass and some kitty litter for stones, and then the highlighting of the static grass. Yeah, that's all I had to do. 4 of the bases. Anyway, there you can see the greens popping out. Contrasts quite well with the brown earth colors and stone, gray stone. So I got 4 of these bases all done to go alongside the 2 that were already done. I think this is one of them. They're all good to go. Standard DBX basing for 15mm figures. In this case, it's 40mm wide by 20mm deep, 3 figures per base. And there they are. They look pretty good. I like that little highlight of the static grass. Really makes them stand out a lot more. The static grass I use is actually straw colored. Don't know why I bought so much straw colored static grass, but it's no big deal. All I have to do is just highlight it. I get some flower effects in there as well from that, and so on and so forth. It looks pretty good. So there's these 6 bases that I completed, and they'll be available on Forge and Brush very shortly. And to go along with them, got 4 bases of knights here. There's going to be 6 in all when I put them up for sale. Again, the only thing I had to do was just finish off the basing, flock the bases. And again, you can see that green and yellows popping through. What a huge difference. Something else I did, which I've been doing a lot recently, I was framing the bases with some watered down black paint. And really adds a nice touch to them. I think you can really see the bases a lot better, the base edges. Some people don't like that. They like to disguise the bases. I like this because, like a friend of mine said in the paint along, it frames the whole scene. Makes it easier to see the base edges during gameplay, which I appreciate in my games. I did it with my 10mm Napoleonics to good effect. And yeah, I like it. So I did that as well to these little guys. Again, standard DBX basing. This is just 4. There's going to be 6 in all to the final product. And yeah, so those guys were finished. Next up, Napoleonic's Old Glory. I've said this before. I'm very impressed by these Old Glory 15s. They are actually the bigger 18mm. As opposed to the true 15s. So they're a little bit bigger. Detail is really nice. All the edges stand up, easy to paint and work with. I've had no real issues with the models. And they're coming along really well. This is a commission, of course, for a friend of mine. And this is the 1st Regiment. They have yellow collars and sashes and white edging on the saddlecloth, as you can see there. Very nice. And these are the standard troopers. There's going to be 2 regiments for both units. The 1st Regiment and 2nd Regiment. There were only 2. And there's going to be 16 in all. 8 figures per regiment. Again, this is the 1st Regiment. And these are the 5 troopers. I haven't got to the actual command figures yet, of which there's 3. Musician, officer, and standard. I'll do them last. One thing I should note is that the horses themselves are only base coated. I didn't go any further than that. I rarely do. I finish off the horses once the rider is completely done. And yeah, so the socks and all that good stuff will be applied to the horse once the rider is done. So there's the 1st Regiment. Here is the 2nd Regiment. As you can see right away, they got a lot more scarlet going on. The edging on the saddlecloth, scarlet, as well as the sash and the collar, both scarlet. And you'll notice that the turnbacks, much like the 1st Regiment, are yellow. So there you go. These are yellow as well. Again, these are the 8 troopers, and I think they're coming out really well. Another thing I did today was I finished off the gauntlets or the gloves. I started off with the brown leather from Army Painter, and next I went over it with skeleton bone for an off-white effect. And that's that white there on the camera you could see in the gloves. That'll be washed next. And when I do the final highlights on all these little guys, those gloves are going to get some white ivory for a highlight. So there'll be a lot of depth showing on the figures. Next up is going to be the lapel piping. Lapels are blue. They're going to be piped red. That'll be interesting to paint. And of course, the cross belt holding the carbine, as you can see right there on his right. And there's also white belting to hold his saber, which is here on this side, being held by a waist belt. And there's some other bits and bobs to take care of, including the helmet. So, interesting figures. I really enjoy this. I really enjoy Napoleonics because of this. I entered this project knowing absolutely nothing about the Wurttembergers during the Napoleonic Wars, specifically this unit I knew nothing about. So I'm learning quite a bit as I go here, and that's the part I love about Napoleonic wargaming and collecting. It's learning, and there's so much variety of troops, nationalities, and such, and uniform details to learn about. So this is interesting. I'm really enjoying this. And so with that, that is my painting progress, what I'm getting done. Now I have another project that I'm going to be working on for the Becca's Commands challenge. I don't know if we call it a challenge. Some of you might know. Our good friend Paul Becca's, longtime member of the community on YouTube, wargamer from down under, he's got a new challenge in life, and it's going to be a difficult time for him, somewhat, I'm sure. And everybody in the community is coming together, and we're doing this Becca's Commands challenge, and I'll make a separate video for that, show you guys what I'm working on and my little contribution to the effort. So stay tuned for that, you guys. Stay tuned, Paul, for my little contribution, what I'm working on, and what else I'm going to add to it, because it is just one figure at the moment. But anyway, I'll cover that later. Folks, I hope you enjoyed. This is my update. I got a couple more videos I'm going to be putting up tonight and tomorrow, so stay tuned. Hope you enjoyed. Leave me some comments, feedback. What do you think about Napoleonics? Old Glory 15s. How about these feudal English? You like that stuff? I have plenty more to bring on to the tabletop. Let me know if you want to see me tackle more of these little guys. But anyway, folks, stay tuned. Like, share, subscribe. As always, hang in there. It's only going to get better. Take care, folks.